I've gotten this a million times as a question. Well, how would I segment, leads as they enter? Generally speaking, so without knowing someone's business, if you know someone's business, like if you basically ask a business owner, you grab them by the shoulders and you say, hey, what are the main buckets that your leads fall into that you need to treat them differently in order to sell them differently? They're going to be able to tell you, right? When I used to do email marketing consultancy stuff, there were people who wanted more leads, there were people who wanted more e-commerce sales, and there were people who wanted more phone appointments. And it kind of everybody, just over like 2 years, everybody fell into one of those buckets, and that was like really the right way to segment them. That was kind of segmenting them by goal. So as it turns out, Liam, in the B2B world, generally speaking, the easiest way to slice a list, and if you shake a business owner, you'll usually get this from them anyway, but if I come in outsider not knowing anything about someone's business, I'd say slice people by their role or by their goal, and you're probably doing better than just hitting them all with the same message. So goal is, what the heck are they after? What is the end result that they are willing to spend money to achieve? Often that varies in the B2B world. And if you can slice people by the major categories of what the heck they're willing to pay for, well, that's better marketing than hitting them with the same damn message. And role could be, what is their level within the company? Do you get a lot of VPs and execs to come in, and maybe you treat them in a really different way and you get them on the phone right away? Maybe you get kind of some lower level folks and there's a different process to kind of coax them out and see if they're worth your time. And so role and goal, if I don't know the business we're talking about, are often the best ways to slice a list to make the most of it.
Okay, when you say role, are you talking about like decision maker versus, or what stage they're at in the decision making process? I mean, what do you mean by role?
Yeah. So role could be seniority and decision making ability. So, executive business leader that you're selling to versus somebody, a little bit lower down in the totem pole, so to speak, in terms of their ability to kind of move a sale forward. It could also be divisions, right? So if you sell, if you sell a product that has to do with searching for intellectual property and like IP related stuff, you may get people that come in who are on like the legal side of a big company. You may get people that come in that are on the innovation side and they're looking to search through IP to make acquisitions. You may get people that are on, so these are just divisions, right? They're not necessarily differences in seniority. They're just differences in what silo of the company are you within, which generally, I mean, hate to say it, generally kind of correlates to their goal. But sometimes it's easier to ask people, which department do you belong to, is a very instantaneous thing than making them think abstractly about the end result that they're looking for. So to be clear, role could be which silo are you in within a company, or how high up are you? Oftentimes those could be useful slices.
Okay, when we're talking about slices and segments, maybe we should cover in a bit more depth why it's important to be doing this right at the very beginning.
Sure, yeah. So segmenting leads into different kind of categories earlier rather than later. And the easy way to think about this, Liam, is when you're collecting an email address, you can ask for name, email. You could ask for just email, hypothetically. I mean, if we're talking in the B2B world, you're usually looking at name, email, maybe name, email, phone number, maybe name, email, phone number, company, right? We're talking about 3 or 4 fields oftentimes. What we would do is we would add one more field right to the front end. And people are often like, oh no, I'm going to get so many fewer opt-ins, like test it. Almost nobody gets notably fewer opt-ins by testing the following. Here's what the following is. A quick drop down, you click it, it's a quick drop down, and it gives you 3 or 4 options, whatever your main roles and goals are, whatever your main slices are. And again, it's different per business. I'm not giving a blanket bit of advice there, but the core different kinds of customers that you have, leads that you receive.
So just with those 4, say, drop downs or
Yep.
options in the drop down, are we talking then roles or goals?
Yeah, it could be either one. So whatever one's more relevant for your business. I tend to bias myself in the direction of goals because I like to bucket people by why they're willing to spend money. And I'll tell you why, Liam, because I know the button that's on their chest. Everybody has a magic button where if you press it hard enough, the wallet comes out. And if you know why somebody spends money, like if you know what the end result, that is the reason that they would cut a check, then you can keep hammering on that button. Every email can pound on that thing. And so you can say, if you know somebody's interested in intellectual property search for the sake of acquisitions, you can talk about acquisition case studies. You can talk about testimonials from other people that have used your software in that way. You can talk about the possibilities for acquisitions. You can always hammer on the ultimate reason that they're going to ultimately drop that cash. You don't have to talk about 50 other things about IP. So I tend to bias gold for that reason. But again, different people can slice things in different ways. But I very much recommend finding 3 to 5 buckets under which all of your leads can fall, to the point where you can speak to them uniquely and close them better. And adding that simple field, you might see 3% in terms of, like, let's say of 1,000 people that land on your website right now, you're getting 30 of them to turn into leads. You might see a switch to make it 25. You might see a switch to make it 35. It's going to be like that level of variance, but your ability to squeeze as much juice out of each of those oranges as you can is going to go up. So if you have, 40% better chance to get a first appointment, and you have, 8% less leads, it just, the math is like ridiculous. Like, it's sort of like dumb math. It's like second grader stuff, and like the money's just a lot better. So that's the validation, is to do it early, so that, because Liam, if you get somebody to open your first 1, 2, 3 emails, the likelihood of them opening email 12 is rather good. If they don't open 1, 2, and 3, the likelihood of 12 is very bad. And so if you segment them off the bat and the first 3 are right to what the heck they care about, then by golly, 6 months later, that person might be hanging out and they might decide to call you when it's time to buy. And so relevance quick makes sure that we can squeeze as much juice from every orange that we get as possible.